Hey everybody. It's booming in here. Welcome to episode 57 of the Hey Everybody, I Have Something in My Eye podcast. I'm very happy to be here with you and here in this room because it means we pulled off something remarkable. We bought our first house and we did so in the first month in a year and a half where I had a full schedule of shows and we were getting our son ready to go back to in-person school for the first time in over a year. August wore me out. So if I look tired, it's because I'm tired. But I think tired is something we all have in common lately. So here I am in the new house, which I am falling more and more in love with every day. I'm thrilled to say that all my trepidation left me very quickly. I really, really love this place, and I feel very comfortable and at ease in this place, and I feel like it suits me and Tori and Ollie very well. And it very quickly started to feel like ours. Ours? I'm so tired, you guys. Oh shoot, you know how tired I am? I'm so tired. I'm not using the Hey Everybody mug. I'm using my wonderful, this was a gift from my good friend Jenny. The What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and Understanding mug. Which is a Nick Lowe song to most and an Elvis Costello song to me. Or vice versa. I don't know. Like, you guys are just going to have to be cool about some hiccups in the old headpiece because I'm so tired. But this is my first time shooting or recording anything in this room. So I'm learning a couple things. I like how bright it is for the video. I did not realize how bare everything looked behind me. Because right behind me is a bookshelf that's got books on it and some nickety-knacks and a little portable record player and that kind of thing. A Clint Eastwood, The Man with No Name 3 movie DVD box set, which everyone should own. And then over here, we have another bookshelf chock full of poetry and philosophy and comic books and biographies and that kind of thing, and some records and an amp, and there's a piano over here, or a digital piano. But everything you guys can see is bare, so we'll have to get some stuff up on the walls for sure. And that will probably make it sound less boomy as well. But I do love this room, and I do love this house. It's very much still in town, but internally it feels like an old country house, which is perfect. We live in an old country house that's a 12-minute walk from the comic book store. And that ain't bad. I thought we would talk today about something that I read a couple days ago that really affected me. A musician I like a lot, who we've talked about here, his name's Will Johnson. He makes great solo records. He has a great band called Centromatic. He has a handful of other really good bands like Marie Lapento and, just all kinds of other great things. He drums for a lot of people. I think last time Isbell was on one of the late night shows, Will Johnson played drums for him. He plays drums for a band called Monsters of Folk with a lot of like modern day legends. And he wrote a book that I really like called If or When I Call. We talked about that here too. Anyways, he did his first sort of run of live shows since all this started. It was mostly in Texas, I believe, but I might be wrong about that. And you had to be vaccinated and you had to wear a mask, and it was a lot of what we'll call non-traditional spaces. He played a lot of houses and churches and that kind of thing, which I love. Give me a great show in a non-traditional space any day of the week. I love them. But he got home from that run And he was writing about it and sharing some pictures, and they're great pictures. You should find them on Instagram. But in his writing, he said, the future feels written in pencil, which was, of course, his way of saying, we're planning things and hoping for things, but we're planning and hoping in a way that acknowledges a high likelihood that maybe it won't happen. You know, people are having a lot of fun with these memes with like my fall plans and then the Delta variant. I saw one, it was the Beatles, my fall plans, picture of the Beatles, and then a picture of Yoko Ono, the Delta variant. And that sure is fun, and I'm glad people are having fun. But for me, that phrase, the future feels written in pencil, sort of undoes my head a little bit because I need that to not be the case. I make my living with planned public appearances, basically. And looking around the world and knowing that that is going to be a challenge. Under the best circumstances, it's a challenge. It's going to be a bigger challenge this fall because I live in a place where it gets very cold. And as it gets cold, the outdoor shows go away. And now we have this issue of some people aren't feeling comfortable being indoors in big crowds, and I get that. Some venues aren't feeling comfortable booking music, knowing that people aren't going to come. A lot of venues have stopped being venues and just focused completely on being a bar or being a wedding event space. So I don't know what my fall, winter, spring is going to look like. And that freaks me out because I already live a life that freaks me out. I already live a life that is always, if I'm honest, it's always written in pencil. Even if I would rather it wasn't, in some ways. In some ways, I love that my life is written in pencil. It's an adventure, and it's fun, and it's good. So I'm thinking more and more about the notion that the future is written in pencil, which has always been true. I've been saying from the beginning, COVID was terrible, but one of the few favors it did us is that it reminded us of how the world is. This could have happened in 2018 or 2017 or 2016. It may happen in 2025. Like, you know, I heard a comedian named Pete Holmes. He was poking fun at people that have a fear of flying, like myself. And he goes, you know, people say, like, what if the plane crashes? And Pete Holmes goes, what do you think a stroke is? That's your body just crashing. Like, that can happen all the time. You're never safe. You're never secure. And that can be scary, or it can embolden you to live somewhat less fearfully, as I hope that it would for all of us, but I know that it doesn't always. Now, for me, when I think about the idea of the future being written in pencil, there are some practical concerns. You know, what will you do to pay your bills if you can't play live music? And I think about that a lot. I think about other ways of writing. There was a time that I wrote for the local newspaper and found a lot of enjoyment in that. I think about the possibility that this very podcast could become a more financially viable endeavor and how to do that in a way that doesn't feel greasy and gross to me personally. But also still makes things available to everybody the way I want them to be, and, you know. And of course, now is a great time to thank the people that do support the podcast and that kind of thing. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me. But in the here and now, more immediately, what I do when I begin to freak out about the idea that the future is indeed written in pencil is I think about the things that are not. I think about my deep, profound, abiding, permanent, endless love for Tori and our relationship that's, you know, 17 or 18 years on and getting better and stronger and deeper and more fun and more serious and more exciting. I think about my love for my son that is just growing and unfurling in ways I couldn't have possibly predicted, because he's becoming someone I couldn't have predicted, and I'm becoming someone I couldn't have predicted, and together we're building a relationship that I couldn't have predicted, and it's wonderful. I think about being in this house and how impossible that felt even 3 months ago. We'll do a longer episode about my relationship with the idea of home and why it took so long to find us in a house. It wasn't a financial thing. It was, I think, like a emotional, mental, spiritual thing that kept us from doing this, kept me from doing this. And I took that leap, and it has just been all reward thus far. It has been stressful at times, to be sure, but infinitely worth doing. I keep saying it's a decision I would make again and again, you know? I think about just when the future being written in pencil becomes an exciting thing. You know, I've gotten a great deal of opportunity that I did not predict. You know, we got that Orville Peck show last minute, and without working that hard for it specifically. We worked very hard to be a good band that people might think about for that kind of situation. But it was not as though we had some huge rock to push up the hill to get on that show. That opportunity kind of came to me and to us, and I couldn't have predicted that. So the future being written in pencil can sometimes be a gift, you know? There are these things we look at and are predisposed to think they are bad, you know, an uncertain future, an unanswered prayer, you know. But my man Garth tells us some of God's greatest gifts are unanswered prayers. You know what I'm saying? I grew up on Garth Brooks. His record, In Pieces, is phenomenal. You're going to put Call in Baton Rouge and I believe Standing Outside the Fire on the same record and try to convince me that it's not one of the best country records of all time? Get out of town. Superb. People are surprised by my love for Garth, but they shouldn't be. Or at least his music. I don't know the man personally. I know a couple things about him that I like a lot, though. I'm rambling. So yes, we live in a scary and uncertain time. I personally have chosen a uncertain, unsteady, unpredictable life. But from that, so much good has come. The fact that my life is unpredictable has been rewarding and surprising, and has forced me to trust myself, my people. I think some people say like my audience or my crowd. I always tend to say my people. It feels like more than an audience to me. If anyone's sitting here listening to me talk right now, that doesn't feel like an audience. That feels like something more. And I've just had to learn to trust the world, the universe, whatever you want to call it. Eve Barzilay, who's the singer for a wonderful band called Clem Snide, I heard him on a podcast where he said, God is a useful word, so I use it. But you could call it the universe or the world or life or whatever. Karma, whatever you want. And I've had to lean on that a little more lately. The fact that many of the greatest things in my life have been unpredictable and uncertain, and you just have to kind of, you know, all the best things in my life, if I'm being honest, and just realizing it now, being a professional musician, especially one with little to no support structure in the way of a label, a manager, a booking agent, bleh, is a bad idea. And I've been doing it for a while now with some success. Getting married very young. I was 22, 23 maybe. My wife was even younger. I think she was 20. on paper, a bad idea. And it's been wonderful. It's been the greatest thing in my life. Having a kid, again, fairly young, and in an uncertain world where your life is also uncertain, on paper is a bad idea, and it's been phenomenal. You know, buying this house was scary and intimidating and new, and forced me to confront a lot of stuff that I had been very happy leaving in the darker recesses of my mind and heart. And it's been wonderful. So, what wonderful thing is going to come out of these next 6 months of uncertainty and potential hazard and fear, you know? I don't know, but I'm excited to find out, and terrified. Let's do some recommendations, shall we? I have some older stuff, not vintage classic stuff, but surprisingly, I've listened to a lot of very current new music lately. But this is just what's on my mind lately, so let's get into it. This gentleman is named Benjamin Booker, and this record is called Witness. His first record was very kind of garagey, very melodic, but had like a punk energy, and I loved it. And he's got a very unique voice. This record, he's introducing all these wonderful soul gospel elements, and I love it even more. It's a little less jagged at times, but it's wonderful. It's wonderful. Listen to the title track, Witness. It's great. And he's got a lot of things to say that are worth hearing, and I hope you will hear them. Up next, we have this record here called Trouble in Mind by Carll. Now, I confess this is not the one I've been listening to the most lately. I've been listening to his most recent one, which is called What It Is. But I don't own that one right now. I own this one because I found it at a record store yesterday, Sunday. My friend Adam owns a record store in Oshkosh called Eroding Winds, and they sell all kinds of wonderful stuff. I find a lot of really interesting metal and punk rock records there. And I found this there as well. It's got a great country section, great electronic, hip hop, R&B rap section, and you'll find good old sort of country singer-songwriter, Texas troubadour, Carll, right up on the wall there, just waiting for you. Like I said, if you like what I do, you'll like what Hayes does. He does that, man in a guitar, traveling storyteller thing. He does it very well. Listen to the song Beaumont off this record. It's great. And his episode of Austin City Limits is on YouTube as well. If you feel like watching that, I enjoyed that the other day. It's got some good stories on there. And then finally, I've just been listening to a lot of Johnny Cash. And I don't even know what I would recommend to you. I guess there's like a comp called The Legend of Johnny Cash that has a lot of the classics. You get Rhythm and Cry, Cry, Cry and Hey Porter and Folsom Prison and that kind of thing. But you'll also get some of his later things like I've Been Everywhere and his version of Hurt and that kind of thing. And if you're not as familiar with Johnny Cash, or it's just been a while, that's a great place to start. And I've been enjoying him a lot. And I watched Walk the Line again, and I enjoyed it, even though it's wrong in so many ways. I liked it. I could put that on the list. We could have a much longer conversation about biopics and what the point is and how a lot of times people miss the point. Most criticisms I've heard about biopics are that they aren't documentaries, to which I would say, well, it's not a documentary. I think a biopic is meant to be a little more broad, and just the goal is, if after seeing Walk the Line or Bohemian Rhapsody, you are excited about Johnny Cash or Queen or the Sun Records roster of the late 50s or Freddie Mercury success, you know? And I think Walk the Line was not about Johnny Cash, and it was not about his musical history. It was about his beginning a relationship with June Carter. And I think sometimes you have to rearrange some things to make certain points clearer and that kind of thing. And at the end of the day, I liked it. You know, sometimes we're just a little too convinced that we have to explain liking something or disliking something. You know, I've had conversations with people where they say, you know, I can't believe you don't like such and such a thing. There's a lot of like outlaw country revival stuff that I don't care about. And people always assume that I do. And I won't name names because I don't like talking about stuff I don't like. But people are always shocked and they want some explanation for why I don't like so-and-so. And the fact is, I listened to it 5 times and I'm just not there, man. I don't know. I'm sure it's great. I don't, you know, well. We spent the majority of our move, me and Tori, listening to Motley Crue and Poison. And it was great. There we go. I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna hang some shit on these walls so it'll feel a little more cozy. I have my Justin Timberlake bobblehead up there. I have all this cool stuff you guys can't see. I have my Timberlake bobblehead up there. Back here, along with my Man with No Name box set, my Star Wars portable turntable. I have all these little wonderful knickety-knacks. I have a little gorilla. I have a California raisin playing a trumpet. I have a Sasquatch action figure. I have a Homer Simpson gold-plated cowboy trophy thing with a button on the back that says yeehaw when you press it. Phenomenal. I have that book that says Thank You, Dad that my wife and son got for me one year for Father's Day. It's got all these inspirational quotes from philosophers and poets, and then a very young Oliver, like scribbled in additional stuff. I love it. It was one of the greatest gifts unpacking for the move and taking a minute to flip through that in a little tear. It was wonderful. And then all my music books down there, you know. You want to learn something about The Clash or Dylan or Petty, you come by. You look at that shelf right there. You'll find something neat. All right. Maybe someday we'll do a tour of the office, of the varying shelves, you know. I have this rad cup on my desk, always, that says, pick banjos, not fights. It's from the Bluegrass Music Hall of Fame and Museum in legendary Owensboro, Kentucky, where all the best stuff comes from. Best barbecue, Owensboro. Best cup, Owensboro. Best museum, Owensboro. Best Christopher, certainly at least best Christopher Gold, Owensboro, Kentucky. All right. I love you guys. I hope you're doing well. I know it's weird out there. I know the future feels written in pencil, but not all of it is. Focus on that. And sometimes the fact that it is written in pencil means great, unexpected, impossible to predict, wonderful things are about to happen. So get excited and find your footing where you can. Thank you for being here. I'm not sure what the schedule is going to be from here on out. I really enjoyed this. Maybe we'll get back to the weekly ones. I don't know. But we'll have some fun. We'll talk about some stuff. That's what we do. It'll be good. If you like what you hear, what you see, there's PayPal, Venmo information at the end of this. PayPal is Christopher@ChristopherGold.com. Venmo is @ChristopherGoldMusic. Or, you know, buy yourself a real nice cup of coffee. Get a massage, you know. Never gotten a massage. It freaks me out. Strangers touching me. Let's not. All right. We'll talk soon. Go listen to Johnny Cash and really take to heart the message of songs like Get Rhythm. And yeah, take care of yourself, take care of somebody else, and we'll see you real soon. Bye.